Good evening, folks. We are here at Westside High School as the 10th ranked Omaha Westside Warriors are going up against the Omaha Bryan Bears. Bryan so far this season has really struggled, and we saw that in our last opponent, last time we saw him in the Metro Conference Tournament. You know, an 85-44 win for them, and I mean, it was a really rough defensive output for the Bears.
I mean, yeah, they've 1 for 7 on the year, 1 of 2 for home, 0 for 3 away. This team is really struggling on defense. Their whole identity essentially is just offense, but unluckily they're just not able to score many points besides number 15, Jalen Spears, and number 35, Lam Kunai.
Yeah, I mean, with that, you've been seeing that kind of setup for them. Bryan, we're going to see Lankwani out tonight with a rolled ankle, as well as we got Chaz Colum out with a 90-day transfer over from Ralston. But with that win, I mean, a big win for the Warriors, a really big, momentum boost going into that second round of the Metro Conference Tournament for them. And we saw big names like Tate, Odvody, and Pacey Gillespie, Reggie Thomas doing what they need to do. In the last 2 games, if you include the last 2, Tate Odvody's had 50 points, over 15 rebounds, and he's really been, somewhat of the entire offense for these Warriors. So after that win, we go into the bracket for the Omaha Metro Conference Tournament. Westside would then go up against arch rivals Creighton Prep at Creighton Prep over 8 days later with that layaway, with the moratorium in between those deadlines, and then another day due to some weather conditions. We saw Westside go up against Creighton Prep on the 30th, and it was a rough matchup for them going into the second half. A 19-point lead going into 5 minutes left into that second quarter. They had a huge momentum boost, and then it just all fell away.
I mean, yeah, that's really been the key with a lot of Westside. Last year especially, they get those leads early or they struggle early. The middle of the game, quarters 2 and 3, is really where they shine. Being able to get those points, be able to close gaps if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, with that, someone you've been talking about with that, this last one was a little bit of a struggle for them. They had a really big first quarter. They had a decent third and fourth quarter. They were able to keep with a big team like Prep. But that second quarter was really something, a momentum loss for them overall with that loss going up against Creighton Prep. It was a hard one for them. It was a hard-fought loss. But in the end, Creighton Prep's A.J. Rollins was the main guy to see in that aspect. I mean, you saw 15 rebounds going up against Tate Odvody. The guy's 6'6", going up against another guy that's 6'4", and it's really hard to compare those big men when you have a tight end essentially playing the big man role. And defensively, it was really hard for the Warriors to stay in that game. To really outplay Creighton Prep overall. So with that, we saw in that matchup overall a really rough game overall for Westside. They're trying to bounce back in this win, and they're trying to get into bigger games for them in the heart of the schedule. They're 0-3 up against top 10 teams this season. Again, this team right here isn't exactly the biggest team that you want to go up against, but it's another momentum boost for them to move on to a team like Burke tomorrow, and then some bigger matchups these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, especially playing these lower teams, these lower quality teams, being able to send your second unit out, being able to give them confidence to be able to shoot the shot, especially for Westside, who's a fast team, giving them confidence, that's going to be really crucial going into those bigger games where those where their starters are just struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, with that, we're going to see a lot of new guys, new faces most likely here tonight. Hopefully going to be a big win for the Warriors. Well, Bryan has not backed down from some big games. They beat teams like Benson, who's been able to outshine some teams earlier this week, and like Papio South, some other teams like that. They had that first win of the season. Bryan's really looking to get back on track. And sadly, a real big loss for them tonight in Lankwani. Their second top scorer so far this season. He's really struggled. He really struggled in that last game up against Westside, and a rolled ankle in the consolation round, of that Metro Conference Tournament up against Omaha North. It's going to have him sidelined for over 2 weeks. That's a real big momentum, scare for these Bears.
Yeah, especially being able to average 16 points and 5 rebounds as a 6'6" center. That's going to be very crucial against teams like Westside, who their tallest player is 6'4", who starts 6'6" off the bench. Those shorter players, having those taller players is very important. It's basketball, being able to get those rebounds, being able to get your shot off at a higher point than the defender is able to.
Yeah, with that, I mean, overall, the Bears have really struggled being able to be quick on offense. They're a really fast team, just like the Warriors. But when you have guys like Lankwani who are really good in the paint, they've been able to, destroy someone in the paint. Some lower class teams, like some lower Lincoln teams and stuff like that. But it's really been a struggle for them to get it going up against top teams, top 10 teams. And it's a really big, different setup for a guy like Terrence O'Donnell, who is known for his well-coaching style so much. I mean, he's brought Omaha Bryan to multiple state tournaments, but he's really had to struggle these last couple of years with this team. So we're about 17 minutes away from the tip of this one. Again, my name is Jaden Taylor. Alongside me tonight, Cade Martin. We're going to get you guys a tip and our starting lineups when we come back on Warrior Television. And we are back here at Westside High School as the 10th ranked Westside Warriors are going up against the Omaha Bryan Bears. Once again, my name is Jaden Taylor. Alongside me tonight, Cade Martin. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching this game. Going to be a great night of basketball for the Warriors. So after that loss up against Creighton Prep over a week ago, it's been 8 days since their last game, a little bit longer of a layoff than we usually see them for. The Warriors finally jumped back into the top 10 after a week hiatus. We're seeing Westside at the 10 spot in the Omaha World Herald rankings. At number 9, we're going to see Lincoln Southeast, who we saw beat Westside just a couple weeks ago. Then at that 8 spot, we're going to see Millard West at 5-2. Papillion La Vista, this might be a team that very well might drop in this next week. Another loss last night. Papillion La Vista is 4-4 on the year. Then Pius, the one team out of the Heartland Conference that we're going to see 5-0 in that Lincoln schedule. Then we're going to see Papillion La Vista South. Another 2 losses this week. A loss up against Omaha Benson. We've seen multiple guys on that Benson team, when they're ready to play up against some big teams, they're able to play. But mentally, it's really where you see some struggles with the Benson Bunnies. Then you're going to see at the 4 seed, you can see the 9-1 Omaha Central Eagles. And between this team and Prep, these are really some of the top 2 contenders that are, in the second tier from our top 2. Of course, Millard North with that huge Metro double overtime win up against Bell West, an 11-0 record so far, and they're easily showing that they're one of the best teams in the country with the talent they have. So many people talk about guys like Hunter Sallis. You really, the top 10 recruit in the country, but not enough guys really talking about St. Thomas and the recruits that he's looking at. The amazing job that he did up against Bellevue West in that state Metro Championship, and really that team as a whole is just so well-rounded up against the top teams. They're going to be really dangerous this season, along with Bell West at that number 2. So looking forward, we're going to see our Westside player of the night, and of course it's going to be Tate Odvody. What a season this kid has had. A freshman out of Elkhorn South, transfers over to be a sophomore, averaged 12.3 over at Elkhorn South as a freshman, and man, what a factor this guy has had for the Warriors so far this season. Odvody, 15.4 points a game, 5.9 rebounds, and 62% from the field. And as we, in the last, as we talked about the last 2 games, 21 of 30 from the field, 50 points in the last 2 games, another 15 rebounds. And he's really been surprisingly a guy that's worked around the perimeter more than he's been a guy in the paint.
Yeah, especially someone who you want to be your center, someone who essentially has to be your center at 6'4". It's a little weird seeing him play on the perimeter. He's a very strong player. He's able, if you've seen previous games, he's able to really power through defenses. So he's not that bad at shooting threes, which is very surprising considering he's as strong as he is. Being able to switch between those 2 positions, that's really important for the Warriors, something they've been missing.
Yeah, I mean, even for Tate, we talked at the start of the season with Coach Simons, and Simons felt, if there is one somewhat lackluster part of Tate Odvody, is his, overall foot speed. And really what he's been able to do so far this season, being able to get into those lanes, being able to cut it out to guys like Payson Gillespie, being able to get over to guys like Reggie Thomas. His speed has been something he's been working on so much as we talked to Simons these last couple weeks, of what he's been trying to do. Of course, with that big frame, he's going to be somewhat of a slower guy comparatively, but he's really been able to, get past some bigger defenders and make some layups when needed, get around the perimeter when needed, and being able to, really mold into this fast style, fast tempo offense that Westside's been bringing for multiple years. So with that, we're going to get into our starting lineups for tonight. Of course, we're going to start with the Westside Warriors. For the Warriors tonight, we're going to see at guard Chandler Meeks. At forward, we're going to see Reggie Thomas. And then at forward, we're going to see Tate Odvody. At the shooting guard position, we're going to see Payson Gillespie. At the other shooting guard position, we're going to see, of course, number 23, Dominic Rezak. And who are we seeing tonight for the Bryan Bears?
All right, so starting up, we got number 2, Tywan Taylor, a senior point guard.
Yeah, Tywan Terrell going to be number 2, main point guard, along with Jalen Spears. Really been having some quick offensive styles.
Number 3, we have Abdi Bashir, junior guard. Speaking of which, number 15, Jalen Spears, one of the key points of this Bryan Bears offense. Number 23, Abdul Bashir. And number 5, Dang Arope.
Yeah, Dang Arope. I mean, it has really been somewhat of an underrated piece of this Bryan offense. He's not really a scoring offensive type guy, but he's really able to have that height needed that Bryan has needed all season. and that the Warriors have really struggled up against so far these last couple of years, with that height ability. We saw that last year. It's another problem this year. Well, again, that speed, that quick movement around the perimeter, and I was talking to Chandler Meeks, and what he's seen from a 3-year starter, what is the biggest thing that gets them to win games? Ball movement, ball movement, ball movement. They can be clean with their ball movement. They are great in any game they can possibly have. So with that, we're about just 2 minutes away from the start of tip-off, and when we come back on Warrior Television, we'll get you guys set up for Westside versus Bryan.
comments or actions directed to the officials, students, athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and other grounds for removal from the facility. Thank you for your cooperation and good luck, home team. This time we ask you to please rise. Remove cover. We honor America. We're playing our national anthem. Starting at the board is 6'5", junior number 3, Abby Bashir. At center, 6'4", senior, number 5, Ben Arroyo. At guard, at 5'10", senior, number 13, Darren Lockton. At forward, 6'4", senior, number 15, Jalen Spears. And at forward, 6'5", junior, number 23, Abdul Bashir. The Bears are coached by head coach Trent Vidal, assisted by Jared Anderson, Dean Odvody, and Mitch Wallace. And now, the scoring line for your Westside Warriors. At guard, 6'1" junior, number 5, Chandler Meeks. At guard, another junior, 6'1", number 11, Reggie Thomas. At guard, a sophomore, 6'4", number 15, Tate Odvody. At guard, a junior, 6'3", number 20, Mason Gillespie. And at guard, 6'1", junior, number 23, that nominated is Tom Rizak. Warriors are coached by head coach Jim Simon, assisted by Coach Linka, Bill Travis, Ted Conlinger, Derek Porter, and Rick Berkshire with one eye. Varsity officials are Willie Newman, Frank Robinson, and Rich Buck.
And we're seconds away from starting this one here at Westside High School. Warriors trying to get back on the right foot with a big win up against Omaha Bryan. We see Tate Odvody and number 15, Jalen Spears with a tip. Odvody to the last 3, and we'll lose this one. Of course, both teams very high-paced offense we've seen so far this season. You see Bashir working on Rizak to give it out. Spears almost lost it. Good pressure defense at the perimeter for the Warriors. Bashir trying to work it around to Lofton. Lofton driving in on Meeks. 3 guys out there. Good move in the corner. Perimeter 3, no good. And the Warriors bring it back up. Chandler Meeks working it quick. Pacing Gillespie. These Warriors this season really trying to work well, like we said early in the pregame. Ball movement has been a big thing for them, especially in an atmosphere in a gym like this. Of course, Westside gym 5 feet smaller than regulation. Dominic Rizak, 3, no good. Rebound will go to the Bears. Of course, Westside's gym 5 feet smaller than regulation allows for a lot quicker up fast breaks for both teams. Floater from Bashir is good. He's got the first points of the night with just under 7 to go. Thomas looking for the call. Bears working in a 2-3 zone. Somewhat splitting it up. Reggie Thomas, open three, no good. And rebound. Will go too far, go to the Bears. Abdul Bashir trying to drive in, and there'll be a foul. Will be on Dominic Rizek, his first of the night. Abdul Bashir working on Rizek. Rizek, of course, known for his defensive ability. Working with him as well as Chandler Meeks. Trying to drive in here. Spears, layup, no good. Rebound, go down to Payson Gillespie. Looking for a good work in transition. Reggie Thomas looking for layup, and one! Reggie Thomas puts its first 2 points into the game, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
An excellent break by Payson Gillespie. Not really who you would expect being able to pass the ball, as bad as that is. More of a shooting guard.
Reggie Thomas's free throw, air ball. He's a 63% free throw shooter so far this season, uncharacteristic of him. But both teams got one foul, and it's a 2-2 ball game early. Abdul Bashir going to get off to his brother Abdi. Abdi driving in, layup, floater, good. He's got 2 already of those tonight. And working that high difference. It's been somewhat the same so far with these two teams. Those floater abilities have been big for him. Meeks going to try to drive in, kick it out to Payson Gillespie. Open three, corner, no good. Rebound goes to go to Tate Odvody. Trying to look for the layup, trying to get it back out. Meeks, open three, and no good. And finally, the Bears get a rebound and look to work in transition. Long three, and no good from number 13, Darwin Lofton. Gillespie almost had a travel, but lets it go. And Terrence O'Donnell wants a timeout early. The Warriors down 2 with 5:26 left to go here in this first quarter. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get you guys some more Westside basketball. And we're back here at Westside High School. Bryan off to an early lead, but it's comparatively been a slow one for both these two offenses. 3 turnovers aside. Ball will go out of bounds, and it'll be off of Dominic Rizek. They'll call a foul on him. Looked like they wanted to call a slap on the arm. Not sure if they'll keep it with a foul or just an out of bounds. Looks like they'll keep it with an out of bounds call. Long pass over to Dangarope, looking for a layup, and it's good. And Bryan early with some momentum, up 4 with 5 minutes left to go. Meeks working around the right wing. Try to slow it down. Tate Odvody going to get out to Meeks. Meeks going to try to drive in, look for a lane. Looking to work around Dangarope, layup. Ooh, floater. Off the mark, and the Warriors have really struggled from the field so far in this one. Abdi Bashir going to get it off to Abdul. Abdul driving in on Dominic Rizek, and they're going to call a foul on the floor. Looks like it'll be Reggie Thomas, his first of the night. Actually, they're going to call that on Dominic Rizek. Thought we saw the trip on Reggie Thomas, so they'll call it the other way. Rizek already with 2 fouls. He'll come out of the game. And we'll see freshman Caleb Benning coming to the ball game. Almost 3 seconds. Going to be a long pass. Going to make a turnover. Payson Gillespie working with Chandler Meeks. Layup up and good. And a quick work and transition for the Warriors. Meeks so far this season, averaging 9.9, just under 10 points a game, as Abdi Bashir looks for the layup and rings around, no good. Warriors will bring it back up court. Thomas going to kick it out to Caleb Benning. Corner three, no good. Warriors will get the rebound. Meeks, another open three opportunity, and no good. Tate Odvody, another rebound, and puts it in. The rebound, offensive rebound ability for the Warriors tonight has been superb, and we're only 4 minutes into it. Tie ball game. Abdul-Bashir is going to try to drive in on Caleb Benning. Of course, Benning this season, only a freshman, came from OPS in middle school, as Abdul-Bashir's jumper is no good. Warriors bring it back the other way. Benning, like we mentioned, number 2 rated freshman in the country, or excuse me, in the state, behind Nick Mosier over at Millard North, and it's going to be a turnover for the Warriors. We're going to see C.J. Mitchell come to the ball game for Chandler Meeks.
Warriors really starting off uncharacteristically very slow.
I mean, it's been 8 days since their last game up against a really good team in Creighton Prep. When you have those holidays and those layovers somewhat, hard to be able to get back in the gym and keep yourself with the quickness. You see Terrell coming to the ball game, work on C.J. Mitchell. As we see as well, George Bach coming into the ball game as well. Tries to give it off. We'll see what it's on. It's going to call a kick ball, and it'll be Brian Ball. Coach O'Donnell not happy with Bach's ability not to put it up. Davis is going to come into the ball game for Payson Gillespie. And give off to Abdul-Bashir. Terrell at the top of the key. He's looking to drive in a lane on Tate Odvody. Long pass to the corner. Long three. Darwin Lofton, no good. Rebound to go to Abdul-Bashir. Layup up and easy in. Simons might want a timeout here if the Warriors aren't able to get something quick. It's been a slow one for him. Meeks and Gavin Thomas. Corner three. No good. Ball go out of bounds. And some confusion there. They're going to keep it to the Warriors. C.J. Mitchell. Warriors somewhat confused on offense of what to do. Benning trying to move around. Bears working the 2-3 zone here. It worked really well for Prep and Lincoln Southeast earlier. Thomas trying to get C.J. Mitchell to cut. He's not finding anything. Out to the corner. Over to Thomas, top of the key. Odvody the corner, over to Mitchell. Warriors offense been really slow. Of course, no shot clock in high school basketball. Long pass and a turnover for Bryan. Complete meltdown on offense. Terrell's going to try to drive in. Layup is up and good. And Simons wants a timeout. Simons is fed up with his start here 5 minutes in. It's a 10-6 lead for the for Bryan. Looks like they won't call. Ref said there was a timeout. Simons didn't want it. They'll bring it back up. 2:06 left to go here in this first quarter. Logan Wilson checks into the ball game. Warriors trying to work around now somewhat of a 2-3 zone. Long pass to Charlie Meeks, over to C.J. Mitchell, try to drive in. They kick it out to Chandler Meeks. Warriors have not been able to drive in and find too much. Bears defense has been very well so far here in this first quarter. Meeks, long three, no good. Rebound will go the other way. Jalen Spears loses the ball, go back the other way for the Warriors. Another turnover on both sides, been a very sloppy one here in this first quarter. Meeks trying to find something. This 2-3 zone for the Bears has been deadly. I'm surprised Simons has not wanted a timeout so far. Mitchell, top of the key, three, no good. Warriors have not hit one single three here tonight after hitting 14 in their last appearance up against Omaha Bryan. Very slow game so far as we hit under a minute left. Great pass and a cut from Jalen Spears, and it's a 6-point ball game for Omaha Bryan. Working it back the other way. Long three, no good. Rebound will go to the Bears. Logan Wilson, 6'6" center, unable to get to that one. We haven't seen a ton of them so far this season. Surprisingly, he's worked more around the perimeter than anything. Lofton will get fouled at going for the shot. and he'll get 2 shots from the line as we see about 33 seconds left here in this one.
I mean, as you were saying earlier, those 8 days off have very clearly rattled the Warriors, to say the least. They're not really able to play to get back on defense. They're not really using their fast feet normally. They're very slow. They're not even attempting to go inside of the paint. They just stay on the outside. Simons is very frustrated at that if the camera is able to catch it.
Yeah, I mean, Lofton here has not hit a free throw so far this season. He misses that one there. Second shot is his first free throw up and good as Abdul Bashir checks in for him. 33 seconds left to go here in this first quarter. It's a 7-point lead for Omaha Bryan. Still working the 2-3 zone. Warriors trying to find something. Almost let it go. Logan Wilson to kick it out to Thomas. Caleb Benning didn't want the shot. Almost let it go. Thomas trying to drive around. Mitchell getting off to Meeks in the corner. He'll drive in. Layup, and it's good. And it's a 5-point game. Long three from Abdul Bashir. No good. And a half a second left. And Mitchell's shot is nowhere but good. We'll be right back on Warriors Television. Back here at Westside High School, a 13-8 lead for Omaha Bryan. And this 2-3 zone defensively for the Bears has slowed down the Warriors, and they're usually very up-tempo offense. Meeks trying to work on that pivot foot, going to give it off to Caleb Benning. Meeks, left wing, 3, good. And it's a 2-point game. Terrell going to give it off to Rope. See if it's going to be Bach. And they're going to call a double dribble on Abdul Bashir. And first turnover for the Bears here in the second quarter. Chandler Meeks been the leader here tonight for the Warriors. 7 points. Well, the Westside offense has really struggled so far on this one up against a team they blew out by over 40 points last time out. Block by George Bach. And it'll go O'Brien way. But what a stuff in the lane. Terrence O'Donnell looking for a little bit of movement for these Bryan Bears. Offense has worked well up against Westside so far, with some costly turnovers, is why this game is truly even close. Bashir trying to work around, get off to Lofton. Lofton working on Tate Odvody, can't find anything. Wanted a travel there, won't get it. Now Abdi Bashir will try to drive in. Almost loses the ball, Caleb Benning working on him. Warriors working in a man. Spears, layup, no good. Great contested opportunity from Chandler Meeks. Tate Odvody's going to drive in, look for the layup, and it's good. It's a tie ball game here in the second quarter. Odvody with 4 points here tonight. The Warriors gain some momentum. Looking for And a great shot from Taiwan Sorrell. That's a 2-point game in favor of Bryan. And Coach Terrence O'Donnell wants a second timeout. So far in this one, a totally different story than what we saw just over 2 weeks ago here in this gym. And really, what's been different for the Warriors tonight?
I mean, mainly it's just been the lack of being able to hit the three. I believe they have missed 7 of their 8 attempts up to this point. The Warriors are very well known for being able to shoot that three ball, and if you saw just this game, you would think the quite opposite.
Yeah, and I've talked around, some other coaches around the Metro, kind of what their opinion on it is for Omaha Westside as a whole. And, Westside's always been known as being a quick perimeter offense that works around the three. We saw that last year. We saw that all 4 years with Jaden Booth and Carl Brown and PJ Nagami these last two. But this team is really known for the three, and when they're not able to hit it, especially up against good teams, it's really going to hurt them. Like I said, 1-for-8 here tonight from beyond the arc, and Chandler Meeks will bring it up court, looking into 1-3-1. Payson Gillespie, three, no good, and once again it'll go back Bryan's way. Jalen Spears trying to work on Chandler Meeks to get it off to Lofton. Corner three, no good, back iron. Meeks will bring it back up. It seems so far here tonight, every time Terrence O'Donnell's called a timeout, they've been able to work that defense a little differently. We saw a little bit of man to start off with, and quickly that first time out we saw a 2-3 zone. Now we saw a 1-3-1 as that ball goes out of bounds, and it'll still be Bryan ball.
Reggie Thomas really the first person to show a little bit of life on this defensive end.
Overall, we really haven't seen a lot of quickness from beyond the perimeter. We've seen that a little bit in the paint. The Warriors have been comparatively slow in this one. Turnover there, Warriors bring it back up. Thomas trying to find something, quick in transition, over to Odvody, left wing three, and it's in! Tate Odvody gives the Warriors the lead. And a big momentum boost, they can keep it going. Almost tipped. Abdul-Bashir working on Caleb Benning. Jump back. No good. Warriors will keep the rebound. Meeks gonna drive in. Gonna kick it out. Caleb Benning over to Tate Odvody. Won't want the three. Trying to work it around. Almost lost his footing. Payson Gillespie. Meeks. Corner three. And it's in. Chandler Meeks. 10 points on the night. And he's been a huge part of these Warriors offense to get themselves some breathing room.
I mean, ask and you shall receive. After not hitting any threes in the first quarter, they've hit 3 already.
Long pass and go out of bounds off of Caleb Benning. Not a great throw from number 13, Darwin Lofton. Taiwan Sorrell going to check it in as we both see George Bach back in the game as well. Long pass, nobody there, layup, and it's good from Dangarope. Pass initially, turnover there, try to keep it in. Who's it off of? It's Bryan's ball. Lazy offense leads to bad defense, and Bryan gets the ball back after another turnover for the Warriors. And Simon still has not called a timeout. He's livid on that sideline. Lofton trying to work on Meeks. Gonna see a foul. Give it off. Looks like they'll give it to Benning. Excuse me, they gave it off to Reggie Thomas. Might have been a pull. Looks like on Jalen Spears. A rope. Gonna give it off to Spears. Looking for the floater. It's up and no good. Rebound. Go to Chandler Meeks and he'll get fouled. It'll be off of Spears. And it'll be Bryan's second of the night. And Spears is first. Thomas and the Warriors. Now Bryan back to a 2-3 zone. Didn't like what they saw with the 1-3-1. Thomas, three, no good. And the ball go out of bounds off of Omaha Bryan. George Bach. Not a great mistake. Warriors get it back, looking to extend their lead. Caleb Benning, long pass over to Payson Gillespie. Wide open, long three, and it's in! Payson Gillespie, first points of the night, and it's from way downtown.
If you leave him open, he will shoot. Case in point right there.
Spears gonna give it off to Bach, and he lays it up and in. This one's still a close game. Benning working it around again. Bears still working the 2-3 zone, still flipping it up a little bit. Meeks can get out to Payson Gillespie. Another three, no good. Rebound will go back Bryan's way. And after a really stellar performance in offensive rebounds that first quarter, it's really been bad for them so far in the second one. And a great cut from George Bach, and it's back to a one-point ball game. Meeks over to Thomas. Warriors, a lot of confusion on this offensive side of the ball. Long pass over to Tate Odvody, left wing three, and it's in! Tate Odvody once again makes it 10 for him on the night. And it's a Meeks and Odvody show for the Warriors so far. Terrell gonna give it off to a rope. No good from the block. The Warriors bring it back up. Meeks kick it out to Caleb Benning. Wide open corner three, no good. Rebound. Go back Bryan's way. Another turnover. Payson Gillespie bring it back up. Quick back and forth of these two teams. Meeks, corner three, no good. Rebound still up in the air. Odvody looking for the floater, no good. Rebound still for the Warriors. Meeks, three from the right wing, no good. And finally a foul and stop of play. Warriors, 4 different opportunities to put it in. 3 of them are wide open and can't put a single one in. And it's the first foul of the night for Tate Odvody. What a different showcase we've seen here tonight from just 2 weeks ago. Bryan keeping this one knit and gritty with the Warriors. Abdul trying to work it around. Gonna give it up to Bach, back to Abdul. Corner to Abdi Bashir, getting up, back over to Terrell. Abdi Bashir, wide open, three, and it's in! Abdi Bashir makes it once again a 1-point game. Warriors trying to work it around quick again. Didn't like the opportunity from Odvody. Jumper is no good. Spears trying to work on Thomas, trying to get their first lead since the start of the second quarter, and no good. 3-on-3 action. Thomas gonna kick it out. Mitchell, Odvody, blocked from Abdi Bashir. Ball will go out of bounds. Will stay to the Warriors. But Odvody tonight has really struggled from inside the perimeter. It's really been somewhat of the struggles for the Warriors these past 2 seasons has been the height. Mitchell gonna go out to Thomas. Warriors really need something big here for 1.5 with just over a minute left. Meeks gonna work it, look to slow it down, find what they need to do. Working it back to 2-3 once again. Odvody didn't want the three, gonna give it to Thomas. Thomas, great pass. Chandler, Meeks is beautiful. What a layup up and in. And he's got 12 on the night as we had under a minute left to go in this one. Abdi Bashir working around the screen. Three, no good. Rebound will stay. He'll get his own rebound. Ball will still go out. And it'll be for Omaha Bryan, be a foul. They'll put it on C.J. Mitchell, his first of the night. And Omaha Bryan, one forced foul for the Warriors, away from getting into the bonus here here late in this second quarter. 40.1 left to go. 3-point lead for the Warriors. We'll see Charlie Davis check out as well as Tate Odvody. We're going to see the big man, Logan Wilson, come back in. Almost a 5-second call. Ball's going to go out of bounds. And it'll stay the Warriors ball. Mitchell trying to find something to get out to Benning. Benning trying to work on Abdi Bashir. Defense has been very well for the Bears. And they're going to give Abdi Bashir his first foul of the night with just 29 seconds left to go. Meeks, most likely he's looking for the last shot. Want to see here, most likely will try to work under 15 seconds. Give it off to Mitchell. Simons didn't like that call. 10 seconds. Meeks gonna drive in, look for the jumper, and it's no good. Bryant still got one chance. 3 seconds left. Jalen Spears, long three, too far. And that is it for the first half. This one uncomfortably close. Warriors of 27-24. And when we come back, we'll break down that first half and get you guys the trivia question of the ball game when we come back on Warrior Television. I would like you two to start heading down. Welcome back here on Warrior Television, and we're seeing our Dunkin Trivia Question of the night. In 1980, the Westside boys basketball and the football team played the same school in the state championship. What school did they play? Of course, you look in that one. Hashtag Dunkin Trivia on Twitter with the correct answer will get you a $10 gift card to Dunkin Donuts. We're back here up in the booth here with Bob Sullivan. Head coach for bowling so far this season. First season for you guys to be able to have technically, a truly NSAA sport for you guys. I mean, what's it like to be able to have, a fully licensed NSAA sport?
It is very cool. I'm very happy to be a part of a brand new program. It's been a lot of fun getting us started with a girls and boys team. It's been a lot of work getting kids out to bowl, but the reward of getting them out there and them getting better has been a lot of fun to watch so far.
Yeah, of course. So, we've seen these past couple of years, unified bowling has been a really big part of you guys. The bowling club has been a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
How about Dom Vicentini so far this season for you guys?
Dom has been great. He started off a little slow. This is his first year bowling competitively, but yesterday against last night he had a career high of 178, and he also had a 158, which by the rest of the state standards aren't great, but those are career highs for him, and he's getting there. So I think this might not be his year, but in the next couple of years we could see him going to state eventually. So
yeah, for you guys, trying to build a program that's somewhat new for you guys. What are your aspirations for this year and going forward the next couple of years for you guys?
Obviously, this year it's just about getting warm bodies to fill out a team for the boys and girls team. We've done that. The girls team has made some strides where they look like they have a chance to actually make the state tournament as a team. And so that's the goal for this year, for the girls to make state. And then in the next couple of years, the boys just keep taking steps forward and being a better team. So,
all right, thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Sullivan.
you. Appreciate
We're about a minute away from the start of the second here at Omaha Westside, and we'll be back on Warrior Television. Get you guys set up with this second half. And we're getting ready for the second half here. Brian will start off with the ball. And Brian, a great game so far defensively. Warriors offense is significantly slowed down, as we'll see a foul on Reggie Thomas. Thomas didn't like that one, thought Spears might have been out of control a little bit. But nonetheless, it's the first team foul and Reggie Thomas's second foul of this ballgame. Lofton trying to work it around. We'll see a foul. We'll give it to Spears. They're going to give that on Abdi Bashir, actually. Spears was the one working around. Not sure what the refs on that one. We'll get back in this one. Of course, under just the start here of this second half, Meeks trying to work it around. Great defense so far from Lofton. Almost lost the ball. Go back over half court. Meeks trying to find something. Long pass. Tate, Odvody, three, no good. Rebound. We'll go to Jalen Spears. Bears been working that 2-3 zone all night defensively. And not sure what it has been. The Warriors have not been able to work around it. We saw last year one of their, deficit was really going up against teams that had half-court presses. Tate Odvody will get the foul and in. A little bit of a tap from behind from Odvody, but Shearer, they'll call it a foul. And basket's gonna count, make it a 5-point lead, maybe 6, if Odvody can put it in. Odvody this season, from everything else he's been able to do offensively, the guy is 16 for 16 from the free throw line. As perfect as you can get. We're trying to see Lofton try to check back into the ball game. And Odvody, 17 for 17 on the year, makes it. It's a 6-point ball game with 7:08 left to go. Terrell trying to work on Meeks. Meeks has really been a big piece of this offense here tonight. Abdul Bashir, working around the perimeter. Going to give it off to Lofton. Lofton trying to drive in, can't find anything. Trying to find a pass, working on Thomas. Layup, and it's in. Meeks trying to move around and find somebody else on a coverage. And Lofton able to scoot around and get one in. Gillespie. Meeks over to Thomas. Meeks looking to drive in, jumper. It's good. Chandler Meeks has looked superb tonight, 14 points. And his shot, surprisingly, even from mid-range, has been amazing here tonight. Lofton trying to find somebody. Abdul Bashir trying to drive in. Step back jumper, and it's good. Abdul Bashir, as well as his brother Abdi, have really made it look easy so far tonight up against what was seen as one of the best defenses in the state of Nebraska so far this season. Odvody, they give off to Meeks. Top of the key, 3, no good. Rebound down to Grizak, will get fouled from Abdul Bashir from behind. And he'll get 2 shots.
The problem with Bryan right now, giving more fouls really than they did in the first half already, is just Nebraska State basketball rules. Technically, any physical contact with a player going up for a shot, that's technically a foul. The refs are kind of being inconsistent with that a little bit, showing more favoritism, for lack of a better term, towards Westside.
I've been seeing that here as Dominic Rizak hits his first one, looking for a second. And I'll make it a 6-point ball game. That's really been a big point. Some of the different rules that we've seen in Nebraska high school basketball. Of course, it hasn't really been much of a factor, surprisingly, in the smaller court at Westside. But of course, no shot clock here in Nebraska high school basketball. And we've seen sometimes before, backside help, a rope, going to kick it out. Terrell trying to find somebody, turnover. But yeah, with that, Thomas trying to look for a layup, and it's in. Almost overran it. It's his 4 points of the night. But like we were saying with that, the no shot clock rule has really allowed defenses to keep on their heels, especially when you get down to a minute left. It doesn't allow for a lot of opportunities for teams to get back in the ball game where they're down, over about 6. Thomas, layup, no good. Go back the other way. 8-point ball game for the Warriors. Spears looking for a 3, and short. Rebound, go to Odvody. Gillespie going to work it around to Rizak. Thomas looking to drive in, going to kick it out to Tate Odvody. Corner 3, way off, no good. Looked like it might have been tipped. Abdul Bashir going to get out to Lofton. Looking for a 3, and it's in. Lofton, so far tonight, 7 points. And Bryan still sticking around in this one. Thomas, long throw over to Dominic Rizak, looking to drive in, layup, and first points of the night for Dominic Rizak. Terrell going to kick it out, back to back. Lofton, over to the corner to Terrell. Terrell trying to find somebody. There's going to be a foul on the floor on Dominic Rizak. It'll be Westside's second of the second half. We'll see Caleb Benning checking the ball game for Dominic Rizak, as Rizak's got 3 already here. Lofton trying to find somebody. Might be a 5-second call. Just barely got off in time. Lofton at the left wing trying to drive in pace of Gillespie. There's going to be a foul. And beyond Gillespie. Gillespie's first of the night. Bryan trying to end closer in this one. It's been an uncomfortable one so far for the Warriors. Able to work the lead back up to 7. But Bryan has never been out of it so far tonight. Backing to get off to Abdul Bashir. Bashir working on Caleb Benning. Gonna look for the screen. Jump back. And it's in. Abdul Bashir been smooth here tonight. Another step back jumper is good. Tate Odvody looking for the floater, and it rings in, and he answers back. Terrell working in the lane, gonna kick it back out. Turnover, Caleb Benning. Benning over to Thomas. Thomas puts it in, they're gonna give him a foul. Gonna put it on Abdul Bashir. And Thomas has an opportunity for 2 and 1s. But we're gonna see a timeout first from Omaha Bryan. 3:11 left to go here in this third quarter. Warriors trying to pull it away in this one, 42-33. And Kate, I mean, what a second half for these Warriors so far.
I mean, yeah, they've looked a lot more fluid on offense. They're not really staying on the perimeter. They're really just doing their job the right way.
Yeah, the Warriors here tonight. I mean, Bryan has really been doing surprisingly well from the offense side of the ball. Of course, this is a very slow style of offense comparatively for both these teams, I guess, from what we've seen so far this season. We're seeing for Omaha Bryan, Taiwan Terrell, 10 points, 4 rebounds, and another 5 assists. Abdi Bashir with 2 points, 1 rebound, and 3 assists. 3 fouls on him so far here tonight. We're going to check that. That's going to be 1 foul on here. We've seen 3 fouls on Abdul Bashir, excuse me. But Abdul has got 6 points of the night, and then Darwin Lofton with another 7. And for the Warriors here tonight, we've really seen Tate Odvody and Chandler Meeks do all of the heavy lifting. 15 points for Odvody, another 14 for Meeks. And with the depth that the Warriors have had this season, we've seen over 7 guys be able to make at least average 8 minutes per game so far this season. It's really concerning when you see usually the same 2-3 guys in most nights being able to make, most of the output for the Warriors.
Yeah, especially with Reggie Thomas. A lot of the time he takes that scoring load, so having an off night, Chandler Meeks really taking that over. It's kind of...
Meeks going to get the rebound. Well, they'll give it back the other way for the Bears. But yeah, as we were saying, I mean, it's really been big for, a couple guys being able to step up. We really haven't seen, other than last time up against Omaha Bryan, we really haven't seen a big overall night. It's a 3 from George back. Makes it a 6-point game. But like we were saying, it's really been hard for the Warriors so far this season as a jumper is way off the mark. To see more than 2 guys really be big, really prevalent on the offensive side of the ball in a night. Lofton gonna get out to back. Spears doesn't want the 3, gonna try to drive in. And 1! Jalen Spears spin moving in. And it's a 1-possession game as Spears puts his one through. We'll check that. Yeah, I'll put that back in. Sorry, I wanted to make sure. Scoreboard up here had 36-42, make it 38-42. 3-point play will make it a 1-score game with just under 2.5 to go here in this third quarter. Spears' shot is good. It's a 1-score ball game.
A little bit of an off night for Spears. Averages almost 17 points at 16.9. Has 3. He hasn't really been able to score the ball much, but his other teammates have really picked that up.
Long pass over to Tate Odvody, looking up, no good. Second chance! That'd be an offensive foul on Chandler Meeks. Ball will go the other way. It must have been a reach over the top. Meeks thought he had the rebound.
I mean, he nearly jumped over him.
That's a hard thing with that kind of call. Going up for a ball like that, we didn't really see Abdul-Bashir, who's the one underneath that one, really go up for that ball. We'll still call an offensive foul. Long pass will go out of bounds. And another turnover for the Bryan Bears.
Warriors really coming to play in this second half, thankfully. They're only up by 3 at this point.
Yeah, big early third quarter, but Bryan's been able to work it back. Long pass. Still stay the Warriors' way. Benning trying to find something. Meeks, kick it out to Thomas. Corner 3. No good. Air ball. Meeks, second chance, and puts it in. Chandler Meeks so far tonight looking for 18 points. Makes it a 5-point game. As we'll see Reggie Thomas check into the ball game for Logan Wilson. .75% free throw shooter, and it's no good. Still a 5-point ball game. Spears working in an open left side of the court. Trying to work for the screen. Spears blocked by Logan Wilson. Second chance is good. And this one's still very uncomfortable for the Warriors. Odvody, left corner, get it out to Mitchell. Mitchell trying to find some movement. Long pass, open 3 opportunity from Chandler Meeks, and it's in! Chandler Meeks, 21 points on the night, and has carried this team's offense on his back. Spears will not get the 3 odd. Look like there is an offensive foul. Both coaches have felt that some of these fouls a little bit can be some ticky-tacky ones. We've seen some small fouls, but of course, those NSA rules, it allows for a lot of those smaller fouls. We're under a minute left to go here in this third quarter. Logan Wilson gonna kick it out to Chandler Meeks, looking for 24. Chandler Meeks. Terrell. Abdul-Bashir. Got about 34 seconds left. Likely might look for the last shot. They're going to call it a foul. Who will they call it on? It looks like it's going to be on C.J. Mitchell off the ball. Reggie Thomas looking to check into the ball game and is going to bring Tate Odvody out. Now put that foul on C.J. Mitchell. I believe Bryan's in the bonus. On the scoreboard here, they have 6. We have 6 up here for the Warriors as well, and that's what they'll switch up to. Just under 30 seconds left to go. Terrell trying to work on Reggie Thomas, trying to find an opening. Back working on C.J. Mitchell, step back 3. Banks it, no good. Rebound will stay to the Bryan Bears. Back. Yeah, foul on the floor. They'll give it to Chandler Meeks. And Meeks going to be his second of the night with 16 seconds left to go. The Bears, are going to be in the bonus. And Back's going to get a 1-on-1 opportunity. Back so far this season has not hit a free throw. And his first shot is no good. The Warriors will look for the last shot here as we make it under 10 seconds. Meeks, they kick it out to Reggie Thomas. Won't want the 3, going to try to drive in. Pass it off, will give it up. And that will end the third quarter here. Warriors add somewhat to their lead, but this one's still very close with just 8 minutes left to go. Here in this ball game, Warriors 50, Bryan 41. Fourth quarter action when we come back. We're back here in the fourth quarter. Meeks trying to drive in, layup, no good. Dominic Rezak, no good. Terrell trying to work around. Long pass over to Spears. In the corner looking for a three. No good. Rebound. Stay the Warriors' way. Odvody trying to drive in. Little Euro step. And a foul on the floor. Odvody and puts it in. 1-1. Keeps his perfect season alive from the charity strike. It's a 10-point lead for the Warriors. Again, this one has been close all throughout. Bryan got an 8-point lead to start off the first quarter. Warriors able to bring it back. The Warriors offense has not been what we've seen a lot so far this season. Spears gonna drive in, look on Tate Odvody. They're gonna call a foul on the floor. And they'll give it an offensive foul on George Back. His second of the night. And the Warriors will bring it back the other way. Pacing Gillespie getting out to Meeks. Reggie Thomas. Meeks trying to drive in. Pacing Gillespie, long three. No good, front iron. Spears will bring it back up the court. 11-point deficit for the Bears. Trying to get back in this one. 7 minutes left to go. Back. Layup, good. Warriors trying to work it around the perimeter all night. Bears have really worked this 2-3 zone. We've talked about it all night, which has been hard for the Warriors to be able to penetrate through. And the three-point shooting has not been great for them, even though it's livened up somewhat here in the second half. Odvody, three, it's in! Tate Odvody, once again, makes it 20 points on the night for him. A rope. Almost lost the ball. Ball's going to go to bounds. It'll stay to Bryan. Looks like they'll call it off of Pacing Gillespie.
As the game has gone on, the Warriors' defense really has picked up. Very underwhelming in the first half, been about as on par as you would expect him in during the second half.
Yeah, tempo-wise, we've really seen a faster second half than we saw in the first. Warriors really seem somewhat confused and discombobulated in that first quarter as the ball goes out of bounds. Off and Tate Odvody, you'll stay Omaha Bryan. 5:40 left to go here in this fourth quarter. Again, the Warriors been able to control themselves here in this third and fourth quarter to a consistent lead. But Bryan has never been out of it. Going to be a turnover. Spears lost the ball. Still going to be a 5-on-4 the other way. Rezak trying to drive in to get out to Meeks. Would not be good if they don't find anything here. 5-on-4. Layup, no good. And it'll be a timeout. Spears was hit into the nose. Not sure what's going on the sidelines, but Spears is grabbing at his nose. Looks like it might have been something he believed might have been caused by Reggie Thomas. The ball still went back the other way, but a 5-on-4 unable to put points through is not what you want to see for the Warriors. As we'll get back in this one.
12-point lead for the Warriors. Looking to stick it out in this one. Bach going to give it out to Terrell. Trying to drive in, layup, and will get fouled. Rezak, his 4th of the night, and he'll check out of the ball game for Caleb Benning. It'll be 2 shots for Terrell. So far this season, 38% from the free throw line. That's really been a crucial point for the Bears this season, losing some big games in overtime to Omaha North. The free throw shooting has been rough. Makes the first shot. It's an 11-point ball game as we finally see Caleb Benning step in. Terrell's back into, Spears is back into the gym after an injury. As Terrell's second shot is no good, and it keeps it double digits. Meeks over to Thomas. Caleb Benning to get off to Odvody. He's trying to drive in and do an open lane. Open layup. It's good. Tate Odvody, 22 on the night. Bears starting to lose time here with 13-point deficit. The Warriors, a very strong early 4th quarter showing to be able to keep themselves a lead. Almost turned over. Ball's going to still on the floor. Let's see what it happens to be. Dang a rope. Will force a foul from Tate Odvody. Entire possession very sloppy on both ends. But that will keep Bryan in the bonus. 1 foul away for the Warriors. 2 bringing Bryan into the double bonus. As Dang a rope will shoot 1 and 1 from the line. The rope so far this season, as we mentioned, up to tonight, has not made a free throw. And his first shot is no good. CJ Mitchell might want to slow it down for the Warriors. We'll keep it fast paced. Pace and Gillespie, 3, no good. Terrell, jumper, no good. Go back the other way. Really want to see Westside maybe slow it down here with 4 minutes left to go. Gillespie looking to drive in. Layup. Floater, no good. He keeps it back himself. They're going to give a jump ball. And the possession arrow is in favor of Omaha Bryan. Reggie Thomas will check into the ball game for Pace and Gillespie. Simon's not happy with that quick shot and then a turnover. Just under 4 minutes left to go here in this 4th quarter. Still not out of reach for the Bears. The Warriors, a couple more jumpers, a big lead, might put them in the win column. Long 3, Abdi Bashir, no good. Rebound will go to Spears. He'll look for the layup, up and in. And Coach Terrence O'Donnell wants a timeout with 3:40 left to go here in this 4th quarter. 11-point lead for the Warriors. And when we come back, final 3.5 here at Westside High School. Just under 4 minutes left to go here in this one. Warriors trying to keep themselves a steady lead. 11-point lead. As you see, Omaha Bryan work the full court press. Thomas can get off to Meeks, trying to bring the ball back up court. Of course, 10-second call might be in play. Meeks going to try to bring it back up court, and he will. 3:30 left to go. Mitchell doesn't want the three, going to work it back around to Meeks. Meeks, Odvody, they look to drive in, going to kick it back out to Meeks. CJ Mitchell almost lost the ball, and they'll call a travel on him. Costly turnover for the Warriors, and Omaha Bryan looks to have possibly a chance to get back in this one. Warriors defense tonight has really been working around Chandler Meeks as he'll check out. As looks like something's hurting him around the kidney. Gillespie will check in for him. As Terrell started off at half court. Spears back into the ball game after somewhat of a nose injury, a little bit of step back. They'll call a foul. They're going to put that one on Caleb Benning. It'll put Omaha Bryan in the double bonus, and it's Benning's first tonight. Spears makes the first one. 25% free throw shooter so far this season. As you see London Williams checking into the ball game. First time tonight. Second shot is no good. Still a double-digit lead with under 3 minutes left to go. Thomas. Mitchell trying to work around the perimeter, give it out to Caleb Benning. Benning looking to drive into the open lane. Step back, it's no good floater. Rebound, keeping himself. Kick it out to CJ Mitchell. Open three, no good. Rebound will stay to the Warriors again. Pacing Gillespie to keep it. And Westside possibly might slow it down. Check that, Pacing Gillespie. Three, no good. And loads of missed opportunities, open shots. The Warriors have still not been able to put this one away. Layup from Lofton. And Omaha Bryan will keep the full court press. Mitchell trying to find something to do. We'll see what they're going to call, and Simons will call his first time out of the second half. 2:08 left to go in this one. And let's look at the Dunkin Trivia Question once again. And when we saw it here in 1980, the Westside varsity basketball and football teams both played the same school in the boys state championship. What was that school? We're going to see Lincoln East in both those games. Lincoln East took down Westside in that 1980 state championship for football, 7-0 down. Actually, back here at Omaha Westside, Warriors able to control that one. But defensive showdown, and in the boys basketball matchup, it was really the contested one, somewhat like we see with Bell West, Miller North last year. Westside and Lincoln East were the top two teams almost the entire season. And Westside able to pull it out late with a huge fourth quarter to take home the one and only state championship. (49-57) in favor of the Warriors. 8-point lead with just 2 minutes left to go. Trying to put it away late. Thomas try to pass it around to Meeks. He'll bring it back over half court. Meeks going to drive in. Double team. Long, scary pass. Going to get off to Dominic Rizak. Rizak, corner, Odvody. Thomas will get fouled. They'll give it off to Lofton. And Westside one away from getting themselves in the double bonus. Reggie Thomas will shoot 1-1. We'll see Abdul Bashir and Abdi Bashir check into the ball game for Omaha Bryan. Shot here would guarantee a 3-possession ball game. Excuse me, 3-3 ball game, excuse me. 9-point lead. And his second shot is good. And Westside will call their second timeout. Jim Simons wants a sec to check it over with a 10-point lead here with just under 2 minutes left to go. And Kate, I know this game's been back and forth. I mean, Bryan, really had a really strong first quarter. But Westside able to come back in this one and get themselves to not quite a commanding lead, but a solid lead here late in the fourth quarter.
I mean, yeah, especially for Westside standards, their excellent defense has really put them in this position to not allow Bryan to really get back in this game. There's 2 minutes left, but in those 2 minutes, anything could really happen.
And the Warriors this season, after this game, going to play Omaha Burke tomorrow night over at Omaha Burke. Burke has really struggled this season. The entirety of OPS other than Omaha Central has really been struggling in the basketball spectrum. We'll get back in this one. Bryan trying to possibly get themselves in discussion for an upset. Warriors trying to keep their lead. Turnover, Thomas, wide open lane for a layup. He puts it up and in. And that makes it a 12-point ball game. Bryan trying to bring it back up court quickly. Abdul Bashir, jumper is no good, and they'll start to foul. That'll move the Warriors into the double bonus as Spears has his second foul of the half. Gillespie this season, 79% free throw shooter. And his first shot is up and good. Benning will check into the ball game for Odvody. And with just 1:22 left to go in this one, shot here might seal it. Up and good. Makes it a 14-point ball game. Got to have 4 threes and a 2 just to make it interesting. They'll call a travel on Darwin Lofton. And that very well might seal it up for the Warriors. Still 1:13 left to go as we see Odvody check back into the ball game for Benning for the Warriors tonight. If all goes the same here without any miracles for Omaha Bryan, we'll move on to 6-3. Thomas and try to keep moving around. Bryan still not fouling. With the Warriors going to be playing Omaha Burke at Burke. Time still to be determined on Max Preps. We see 7:15. You guys can watch that on the Burke Bulldogs YouTube channel. And finally, Omaha Bryan. Well, they'll not call a foul. They're actually going to call a travel on that one. Excuse me, my fault. Odvody traveled on that one to go back the other way with under a minute left to go. Of course, with the win, Warriors will be 6-3 on the season. Bryan will drop to 1-8.
I mean, if you really look at this, if you really only look at this game in particular, you would wonder why Bryan is 1-8. They've been playing very good defense, very good offense. They've just really got unlucky with those ticky-tack fouls, those unnecessary turnovers as well.
Yeah, Terrence O'Donnell wants a timeout. With just 40 seconds left to go here in this ball game, Warriors a 12-point lead. And so far tonight, main guys to watch have been Tate, Odvody, and Chandler Meeks. Meeks with 21 on the night, Tate, Odvody with 22. For the Warriors so far tonight, I mean, the offense really struggled in that first half. I mean, looking into that second half, I mean, what do you think the Warriors need to continue to do to be able to make themselves really contenders going into state?
I mean, mainly it's just stick to their fast style of play. the beginning of that first half. Even though there was an 8-day break, you can't really pride yourself on your speed if you're taking 30, 45 seconds around the perimeter.
Yeah, we see them tonight. I mean, that first quarter, of course, it's going to be a little bit of, not jitters, but I guess a little bit of rust from an 8-day break. The Warriors, you saw in that first quarter, really struggled. A really strong second and third quarter to get themselves a solid lead. But, of course, here tonight, Warriors looking to seal it up here with 40 seconds left to go and a 12-point lead. Caleb Benning is going to check it in. They're still back, and Lofton back into the ball game for Omaha Bryan. Tate Odvody trying to bring it back up. Bryan's trying to foul, won't call it. They'll finally call a foul on Chandler Meeks. And it's like you were saying, as likely as some of the ticky-tack fouls we've seen tonight. A lot of movement on both sides, and a lot of time off the clock. Meeks' first shot in the double bonus is good. Makes it 13. We'll see Dom Rizak checking the ball game for Tate Odvody, as both Abdul and Abdi Bashir check back in for these last 30 seconds. Meeks' second shot is good as Mitchell come back in the ball game for Meeks. Warriors gonna pull this one out. A really worrisome first quarter turns into a really strong second and third quarter. And they'll pull this one out up against Omaha Bryan as Spears will put it in. Thomas still trying to work it around and get off to Rizak. Mitchell will drain the clock on this one. And Westside will move on to 6-3 on the season. Team high in points. Chandler Meeks with 23 and Tate Odvody with 22 to end off this one. Warriors 65, Omaha Bryan 53. We'll be right back with an interview with our player of the game tonight on Warrior Television. We'll be
I knew y'all saw that.
All right, we are back here on Warrior Television, here with our player of the game tonight, Chandler Meeks. 23 points here tonight. I know you guys have, that first quarter was really struggling on offense for you guys, maybe a little bit of rust from that 8-day break.
Yeah.
How are you guys been able to, keep your confidence and keep your cool up against these Omaha Bryan Bears?
During halftime, our coach kind of told us that we playing like the days ago, and it really showed in the first quarter. Second quarter, we kind of picked it up, kind of gained our lead back, but we knew third quarter we would have to play a lot harder and push the lead a lot more. So, I mean, the whole week of practice showed in the first quarter we didn't do anything that we worked on. So we kind of got in trouble for it during halftime in the locker room. So we just my bad. We maintained our composure and just got better as the game kept going on.
Yeah, and I know we talked about this at Creighton Prep, with that, kind of big loss. What do you guys feel you need to do, to continue your game plan and really, be able to make a voice up against these top 10 teams in Class A?
Play a full 32 minutes. That's all our coaches said every practice, every day, that even in our practices we have a really good start or a really good end, but it's not a full 2-hour practice. So, I mean, keeping our game the way that we play it for a full 32 minutes will help us really play the best basketball that we can.
So I know for you and Reg, you guys have been, the 3-year starters here, for Westside. Being able to get Tate, here coming from Elkhorn South, being able to see both CJ as well as Caleb Benning, what's it like to see some new faces?
It's good. I mean, it's a lot of chemistry going on that we knew we would get. So they're very good players. I'm glad that we got them. So we'll just keep building as a team and see where it takes us.
All right, so, here tonight, really physical in the paint has been somewhat of an issue for you guys up against top 10 teams. We saw that up against A.J. Rollins.
Yeah.
He had 15 rebounds overall on that night against it was a little bit of a rough game in the paint for you guys. You guys have Logan Wilson. You guys have a really fast overall style of offense. How do you feel you can beat some of these big men?
Just our backside help. I mean, it has to be solid all around. Our whoever's guarding them has to front full post, so if that's all good, we'll be good. And our defense of the perimeter is outstanding. So we'll just have to keep working on the backside and talking and keeping our goalie there. So we'll be straight.
All right, cool. Thank you so much,
Appreciate it, brother.
Hey, great win here tonight for the Warriors, 63-55. Chandler Meeks, what a great night. Thank you so much. Here tonight on Warrior Television. You're good, man.
Yeah, I was playing. More to come. All
right, we'll be right back next week as the Warriors will play some more basketball here at Westside High School. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Hey, yeah.